Welcome back to the Explainer. Okay, today we're doing something a little different. We are taking a top-to-bottom, fully anatomical tour of English vocabulary. Now, I want this to be super interactive, so as we go through this, I literally want you to point to your own body parts. Trust me, it's a proven trick to help lock these words into your memory for good. We're going to cover the essentials, tackle some notoriously tricky pronunciations, and best of all, uncover a few insider grammar secrets that will instantly make you sound more natural. Let's get to it.
Here's our roadmap for the tour. 1. Head, face, and hair. 2. Arms, legs, and feet. 3. The torso and core. 4. Inside the human body. And finally, 5. Tricky body part grammar.
Starting right at the top with Section 1, Head, Face, and Hair.
So go ahead and actually touch your face as we go through these. We've got the nose right in the middle, the ear on the side, the lip, the tooth or teeth, and the neck supporting the whole shebang. But hey, take a really close look at the word EYE. It is one of those classic English pronunciation traps. Despite all those vowels crammed in there, it's pronounced simply as I, exactly like the pronoun when you're talking about yourself.
Now, a crucial point here is how we talk about what's growing on top of our heads. A very common trap learners fall into is making this plural. In English, we treat hair as an uncountable singular concept when we're talking about the whole head of hair. You'd never say, my hairs are dirty. No way. It is always singular. My hair is very long, or my hair is dirty. You just treat it as one big collective unit.
Moving right along to Section 2, Arms, Legs, and Feet.
Looking at our upper limbs, go ahead and look down at your own arm. Right at the top, we have the shoulder, connecting to the main part of the arm. Then we travel down to the hand, where we actually have a specialized vocabulary for our digits. You have exactly one thumb, and the rest, those are your fingers.
Down to the lower half now, we've got the leg, which bends at a very special joint. Notice the spelling here, K-N-E-E. I'm going to slow down dramatically just to emphasize this. That K at the very beginning, it is completely silent. You just say knee. And down below that knee, carrying absolutely all our weight, is the foot.
Now what's really fascinating here is how English just blatantly breaks its own pluralization rules. Usually, we just slap an S on the end to make a word plural, right? Well, not here. If you have one, it's a foot. But if you have two, it morphs entirely into feet. That double O completely transforms into a double E. Just remember, there is absolutely no such thing as foots in standard English.
Let's move inward for Section 3, the torso and core.
Looking at the front of the core, we have the chest at the top, the side, the waist, and the hip. But right smack in the middle is where our food ends up, the stomach. Okay, take a dramatic pause right here and look at how stomach ends. It ends in CH. Usually in English, CH makes a ch sound, like in cheese or chat, but definitely not here. Here, it makes a hard K sound, stomach. It's a really vital pronunciation trick to keep in your back pocket.
Spinning around to the reverse side, we have the back. Now, the back and the shoulders are absolutely crucial vocabulary words, not just for anatomy, but because they pop up so frequently when we're talking about common ailments. When you go to the doctor, you rarely just talk about your back anatomically, right? You tell them you have a pain in the back or a pain in the shoulder.
Going deeper now with Section 4, Inside the Human Body.
Beating right there on the center of the chest is the human heart. But look really closely at the spelling, H-E-A-R-T. Yep, English spelling strikes again. It looks for all the world like it should be pronounced heart or maybe hurt, but it's actually pronounced exactly like the word art, just with a clear, breathy H placed right in front of it. Heart.
Next up is the brain, safely tucked away inside our head. I've got to say, this is my favorite organ to talk about today because, well, it's the exact organ you're actively using right now to memorize all this vocabulary.
And finally, for our internal tour, we have the blood, flowing everywhere and connecting all these parts together. Once again, we get a pronunciation curveball here. Blood is spelled with a double O, B-L-O-O-D. You'd totally think it sounds like food or mood, but it doesn't. Not at all. The pronunciation of blood actually rhymes perfectly with the word mud.
Wrapping up with Section 5, Tricky Body Part Grammar.
Think of these next grammar rules as like local customs to help you sound like a total pro. Let's jump back to that irregular plural rule we saw earlier with feet. Well, the mouth has that exact same quirk. A baby might grow one tooth, but as they get older, they grow two teeth. It is exactly the same vowel shift from a double O to a double E. You are never going to hear a native speaker say they brush their tooths. It is always, always teeth.
Okay, here is a massive pitfall that honestly gives away non-native speakers almost instantly. In a lot of languages, you use the definite article, the, when talking about body parts. So you might naturally want to say, the little girl needs to wash the face. But in English, we absolutely must use possessive adjectives. We claim ownership of our body parts. So the correct usage is always wash her face, or I wash my face, or he washes his hands.
Let's reinforce this possessive rule with another classic, everyday example from the doctor's office. A super common mistake is saying, I have a pain in the side. But applying our new ownership rule, we know we have to claim that side. So the completely natural, correct way to say it is, I have a pain in my side, or my grandfather has a pain in his shoulder. Never the side or the shoulder when you're describing your own pain.
We've covered a ton of ground today, right? From the hair on your head to the bottom of your feet, plus some really tricky grammar in between. But I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question. Now that you know these foundational body parts, can you see how English uses them as everyday building blocks? Think about it. What happens when you combine a lip and a stick? You get lipstick. A foot and a ball gives you football. A hand and a bag creates a handbag. Body vocabulary is literally everywhere in English, forming hundreds of compound words. So here's my challenge to you. Look around your house today and see how many more you can spot. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.